Hi, I think it's about time that I described how I became an atheist. I wasn't born an atheist, or maybe I was born an atheist, but I wasn't born into a atheist community. A little background here. I'm Norwegian, and Norway got a state church. And when you're born, you're automatically assumed to be in that church. I think it's partially because of this that the majority of Norwegians now are not very religious. In fact, there's quite a lot of non-believers here now. But when I was born, being a non-believer was kind of out there, kind of weird. At the northern coast of Norway, people are kind of puritan. Not everybody. Somebody doesn't care much and only go to church once in a blue moon. And then you got the Puritans who are very strict. And I was brought up in a Puritan family. I was raised by my mother and my grandmother and my grandmother's sisters. They didn't want wishy-washy faith kind of Christianity. They wanted a Christianity that explains stuff. So if I asked why there were plants or animals or anything really, then the answer was because God willed it. So I went to Sunday school, and that's when I started school. Then there was Christianity in the education. There was one class devoted to Christianity, believe it or not. Still is in a kind of way. When you grow up in such an environment and you haven't got much choice in the start, you just accept, as a child, you just accept everything your grown-ups say. Still, there was one incident when I was about 5 or 6 that made me a little bit more critical. I was playing with cards. I found them in a drawer, belonged to my mother. And this sister of my grandmother came in, and she told me that she saw devils dance around in the room because of this. And I was very scared, of course, but didn't quite believe it, and confronted my mother with it, and she said this was nonsense. So not everything grown-ups said could be true, because here you have two conflicting views. One good thing about growing up outside the city, on the countryside, is that you see the stars very well. You can see the Milky Way stretching across the sky at night. You can see the planets. You can see small clusters of stars, stellar nurseries. And that kind of creates a what you call cognitive dissonance in a child. You learn very early that the world is here because God loves us, because He wanted to create us. And you get the kind of world picture where there's just a flat earth and a dome, which is the sky, and then these heavenly bodies just going across this dome, and the stars being fixed points at this dome. And the standard medieval kinds of is the default view when you accept that the world is here for us because God wanted it. And so when you learn that the earth is round and not the biggest heavenly body, that the sun is very much larger, and that the earth revolves around the sun rather than vice versa, and that the stars are suns that can have other planets around them, and that the Milky Way is an enormous collection of stars. I mean, as a child, you look up at the stars that are visible, and you think they are almost endless. And then you learn that the Milky Way is extremely much more of these stars. It kind of blows your mind, and it doesn't fit with the Christian way of looking at things. It doesn't disprove it, of course, and you're supposed to think that this is a testimony to the power of God, but it creates disbelief in itself, or at least you, as a child, I kind of separated out Christianity and the night sky. I couldn't think of those two at the same time. It didn't make any sense. All the extremely beautiful vistas out there, all the enormous distances, that was just kind of wasted. If there was a purpose to this, then this was a very uneconomic way to do things. But as I said, it didn't cause me to disbelieve, but it caused me not to think about God when I looked up at the night sky. I couldn't match those two. When I was about 8 or 9, I started collecting a series of cards, safari cards, and they showed animals ordered into families and families of families. I don't know the exact phrase here, but there was an enormous diversity to life, I found out. And this diversity was ordered. It was, you had lions and they looked like tigers, and they looked a little bit like cats in general. And then you had cat type of animals that looked kind of like the canine part of the animal kingdom. And you can start ordering things, and this didn't make much sense in the God did it scenario, the God did it explanation. And that's a problem in puritan Christianity way, because God is there to explain stuff. Also, when you grow up at a farm like I did, you see cows and you can interact with them, and you see kind of traces of cognitivity, traces of emotions. They recognize you, they may seem to enjoy your company, same with cats and other house animals. And when you notice these things, then you start to wonder, why are they here? Why doesn't God has a plan for these? You learn, Christianity teaches you that you've got a soul, humans got a soul, and animals supposedly doesn't. But they got something, and you feel related.